Hi, you. I'm back. I've had some really nice responses from my Tropico videos, and I've had a few personal or like private comments sent to me in a couple of posts saying they liked the game, they bought the game, they thought it was going to be fun to play, and then they just sort of say, well, where do I start? There seems to be a lot going on, and if you've never played a building type game before, it kind of can be a little overwhelming to even know where to start. So I had told one couple that I would attempt today to do just a little kind of miniature intro and, first time Tropico players. I'm no hotshot player. I'm not super efficient. I don't get things done really fast and furious. I have a lot of fun, and I think that's kind of all I've ever cared about. But I know where some of the main things are, so I can give a quick little overview here and hope that it will help. For those of you who have played a long time or are not interested in learning to play, just skip this one. Don't bother watching this video, just move on to something else. I will hopefully try to get up a SimCity tomorrow night. I'm taking 3 days off this week because I've earned it. I've done a lot of overtime lately, and I will be recording a lot during that time. Yay! I'm trying to do something about a live stream over the Easter weekend. Not sure about that yet, how that's going to work out, or if it will. There's always family obligations, but it's possible. So stay tuned to see if that's going to happen. So we're just going to start right into this game. For those of you who've never played, and if you've gotten this far, the first thing you want to do is create a profile. I'm going to delete this one here and just redo it. A new profile. I'll use the same name. I had started this earlier and then got called away, and I just stopped the recording, so I'm just going to start it over. So I've used this name because this is one of the nice people that have bought the game because they were watching my videos. So, you got to honor that. Thank you. So, again, with the music. It just doesn't matter how often you turn it down, it just comes back up again. So you have options here, challenges, there's different things you can look at. We're just going to hit play. Now, if you've never played before, do the tutorial. It's going to show you where the main things are. Do it once, do it twice. Just get used to moving around the map and finding out what, some of the things that you have to look at or where they are, how to find things. The campaigns are fun. They'll start you small, they'll keep adding more and more complexity, and they sort of teach you to go, or teach you to play as you go. And a lot, the stories are fun. They can be really good time. The Modern Times campaign, if you have that particular version of the game or the DLC or that, includes some of this stuff, a whole new set of things to play. Extra missions is what it says. I'm just going to click on Sandbox tonight because we're just looking at a tutorial. Let's make it easy. So the first thing you come to is you have to choose a map. What island do you want to be on? There are names that don't mean much. There are a few pictures here which don't always translate all that much into making any difference in how you're playing the game. The one thing you want to pay attention to is right here under the picture where it says difficulty. That is going to make a difference in terms of resources, how things are situated, what you're going to be able to do where. For tonight, let's just go with some easy one. Random. If you click on that, you're going to be able to just generate random maps till you find something you like. Okay, that's pretty, and it's easy. We'll pick this. It's cute. That's actually very cute. Like I said, it may not have anything to do with the actual island when we get there, but it's a great picture. So we're going to select that. Make sure you read these little sayings in this game because a lot of them are very, very fun. It has been a long day on some fronts and an amazing day in others. I have gotten, I don't know, 150 or so new subscribers today, which is leaving me feeling almost a little overwhelmed by the whole thing. I had so hoped to have 1,000 subscribers by summer, and I have more than that today, just weeks into this project, and you guys are so awesome. You're so good to me. Thank you. So the game settings, lots of different things going on here, and you mouse over, you get an explanation off on the right hand side. The one thing to pay a lot of attention to is right down here where it says difficulty. You can make this game really, really hard by changing, various options here. We're just going to leave most of these where they were. The game length, the longer it is, the easier it's going to be because the more time you have to get things done. Population, starting with more people, you have more people to work your farms, work your mines, do whatever. That's always a good thing. Random events can be anything from oil slicks to volcanoes. So random events, or whatever. Prominent factions, there are a lot of different factions in your community, like any community. The capitalists here, of course, they love big business. They like working with the United States. The communists, that's pretty straightforward. Intellectuals, the religious groups, the military groups, the environmentalists. You've got all these people. You can choose one to be prominent on your particular island, and it will change how the game plays out, because then they've got the attention. The other, try it. Maybe not the first time you play, but give these things some try them all out. Try everything out. A faraway place, tourism. If you turn a faraway place on, you're just so far out that it's hard to get there. There's no major airports. I gotta fly here, take a boat, whatever. It's hard. Rebel Yell can be a lot of fun. You turn that on, and they're picketing, they're protesting, they're attacking buildings. It can be fun. Free elections, they're off right now, which means if it's election time, you can choose to say, well, I haven't done very well this year, so I'm not going to have an election because I know my people really love me. They don't need to tell me that. So you can just ignore elections if you want to. If you have free elections on, other countries are going to be paying attention to what you're doing. You're saying I'm a democratic country, and they're going to expect you to live up to that. So you can't fudge the count or do any of these other interesting things that you can do without free elections. Immigrants, on or off. You want immigrants on if you haven't played before, because you need workers. You need people to come to the island. If you turn it off, you gotta breed them, and that can be fun too. You put down a lot of hospitals and clinics that are helping with obstetrics and that sort of thing. You can breed your own people. You can keep your country very isolated if you want to. Modern times offer on, depending on whether or not you have that version, but I'm just going to leave everything where it is right now. The difficulty is, normal. Move on. With the avatars, you can see they're all named after historical people. They give a little bit about the background and what that will mean. A leftist author, if a person with that particular background, is going to give you more communist respect, more respect from intellectuals. He's a writer, of course. Oh my goodness. And faster education and training skills. So that's kind of awesome in a lot of places. Communist rebellion is how he rose to power. What that means, communists are going to like you more. The USSR is going to like you more. And your farmers do better because that is, supported in that sort of society. Charismatic, what it means, hardworking, paranoid. So there's a lot of people to choose from. Or, tonight we're going to click on custom avatar and let's go make our own guy. So I'm going to leave it male. We have a couple of choices. A bouncer. No. Casual. You know what? Let's go with this guy. He looks like he could be ruling a country, right? Lots of different complexions, different faces. Okay, he looks good in that suit. We're taking him. Hat. No. Well, we give him a big beard and he could be like a President Lincoln wannabe or something. Okay, that hat goes well with the suit. We're going to do that. Now, we don't want this... No, I don't want this guy to be too traditional. So I figure with the nice military suit, let's have a ponytail. Hey, we're in the tropics. We're in the tropics. Accessories. Changed my hat. I don't think so. Interesting hats. Good hats. Where were we? Is that it? Well, that's not a white one, but that worked. No, I want the white one. Pirate hats. And where did it get to? Here we are. I lost my hairstyle when I clicked on the accessories. That's happened to me a couple of times too. Sunglass. There's the hat again. Hello. Okay, why are the accessories doing this? Look up. Look up, dude. Come. Oh, monocle and pipe. That'll be awesome. Yeah, that's good. Let's give him a... Wish you'd quit looking down. Something wrong with your shoes, dude? Oh, and he lost his hair. Where's my ponytail? There we go. There we go. Okay, so he's pretty cool. Yeah. See, I'm liking him. He's kind of awesome. We're going to keep this guy. And I've already named it. You can rename it should you want to. And here you get to choose those individual things that the ready-made avatars already had. So clicking on a background, each of these is going to give you a little history. And right here is, you know, how that's going to impact on your character from the norm. You know, more or less of different things. Farmer, you call your crops my little babies. Okay, this guy would make me look like a logger or something. The leftist author, that was kind of interesting for education and training skills. Somebody who went to Moscow State University. Farmer, huh? So, oddly enough, I don't think I have ever played this game with a farmer background. I might be wrong, but it's not something... Naturalist sounds fun. I've often done that one. But buildings cost more. You do have less pollution. Sure. No, let's go with farmer. I don't think I've ever done farmer. And, you know, he clearly looks like a farmer. Rise to power. So how did this farmer get to be in this suit ruling an island of his own? Different things. You can be elected. You can have bought it. You can have be forcibly installed by the CIA or the KGB. You could have had, you know, you were a general in the military and you took over the country. We'll go with heir apparent. That'll make things easy. Maybe the whole farmer thing, you know, was more like a sugar farmer, and they sold lots of rum, and he had tons of money, and who knows. So different traits, you can choose these to support what you want. Green thumb, great for the environment, less pollution, that sort of thing. Or you can pick something that's just interesting, you know, so your soldiers are more likely to flee in battle because you never know when that's going to be handy. I'm going to choose green thumb. I'll select. You do have 3 of these, and you'll go through that same list. There are, 3 pages there of things to look at. Oh, a womanizer. You know, that'll be yay. I'm sorry, I'm getting messages here. So what do we have? He's a green thumb, a womanizer, because he's just such a nice guy. And we'll go with plantador, because they had plantations. So that seems to make sense. So you can pick things that make sense, or you can just pick things because they make for really interesting games. You can also hit the random button and just see what comes up. So when you first start the game, there are going to be things you see over and over, no matter what your island looks like or how it's situated. Your palace is always going to be right there in the center of the screen, and you will have at least a few soldiers, so you won't get shot immediately if you totally screw up right away. You're always going to have a construction office. You can't build anything if you don't have workers that have the capability of doing that. There will always be one tenement. Not a great place to live, but I guess it beats the little shacks that the others are putting up as they need. There will be a garage. This is going to have the cars that help people get back and forth to jobs and that sort of thing. The Teamster building will always be available. And the Teamsters are important. You're going to want to pay attention to them and make sure you keep enough of them on hand to actually move your goods. You can have, you know, great resources, lots of factories, but if you can't get it to the dock on time, it's not going to do you a lot of good. Pay attention to your Teamsters. And you're always going to have 2 farms. There'll be 2 corn farms. They're not going to let your people starve to death immediately. And a dock. The dock is always here. I spend a lot of time paying attention to my dock workers. The next ship here is in about 4 months. You want to make sure that your dock workers are handy and happy. If you have homes up in this corner and you've got a market over in this corner, it's only a matter of time before you have a ship coming in, you are in dire need of money, and you click on it and you find you've got 2 dock workers taking a long hike over to the market and then taking a long hike to their house. Somebody will have a day off, a ship's going to come in, nothing is going to be exchanged, your goods are going to stay in the dock, and the ship's going to move away with whatever your people needed for that particular period of time. So look after your dock workers, make sure they're not going on strike, make sure their wages are decent, and give them housing and food nearby. I've run into some problems in the past because I wasn't paying attention to my dock workers. Now, you're going to right-click, if you haven't figured that out already, if you haven't taken the tutorial. Housing, straightforward. Welfare and economy, that's going to be your churches and your hospitals and that. Entertainment, self-explanatory. Education. Media will also include the radio stations and that kind of thing. Food and resources. This is usually the first place I start with farming, mining, that kind of thing. Before I go any further, right over here is the first thing I always do, and I click on that little overlay button and check natural resources. I'm going to go up here on this side, select all metals, and this is going to show me I've got 2 iron mines. There's one of them right near the town, which is brilliant. This is going to be great. We've got a gold mine, we've got a bauxite place here for, it's not a mine yet, it can be. I always check the salt. Okay, I've got 3 of those. That can be another way to make some money. The fishing, well, the fishing is pretty much always in the same place. It's in a rim, you know, around your island here, a ring. So we're going to look at that in just a minute too. But the fact that we have a mine right there, that's going to be the first place I start. And there are always lots of ways to start this game. You can go straight into tourism, get a dock down, get a little hotel up, start making some money immediately with tourism. You can start cutting down trees, selling lumber, cutting down trees and going to factories. You can start doing farms, selling off your food that way, turning sugar into rum, turning tobacco into cigars, etc., etc. Mining, especially when it's this close to town in your dock, is just a fast and furious way to get instant money in this game. And if you just want to get that done, you know, once the mine has worked its way out and it's empty, you can replant something pretty there. But for right now, I'm going to put down a mine, go into the infrastructure, grab a road. You have to connect it to that little driveway thing. I'm going to just pop that there for the moment and let that get started. The sooner we get a mine going, the sooner the Teamsters will have something in our dock, and the sooner I'm going to make some money. So here, what you want to pay attention to, the next freighter is in less than a month. That's not going to happen for us. I mean, the boat will come in, but hopefully it will bring us immigrants. We'll have more labor, but we're not going to have the mine up soon enough for that to make us any money. The maximum imports, I'm going to leave that where it is for right now, because we don't have a lot of money to start, and I don't want them importing a lot more than I will be able to pay for. That doesn't usually happen, but it can. It can on occasion. At some point in the not too distant future, I'm going to just max out imports. I'm going to let them import any bloody thing they want, because you can import trees and keep your own, and put down a furniture factory, buy cheap, buy the raw resources, turn it into furniture and sell it. You can do the same with sugar and make rum. You can import metals and make jewelry, you know, the tobacco for cigars, etc., etc. And if you don't have a lot of farms at this point, they will be importing food. So you need to let them do that. So keep your imports, you know, something going on, and start raising it up relatively early in the game. And there's a boat, and you know, we don't have anything going out, so hopefully we're going to have some immigration from it. That could happen. Just give us some more people to work with. I'm going to put down a farm, The overlay here, down here, green, you're seeing the same thing on the main screen. Corn grows all over the place. Bananas are going to want some height. You can see they're growing up the hill over here. Papayas are pretty easy to get along with. Pineapples, you know, here and there. There's some space here. Coffee always likes it up higher, and you've got a lot of space for coffee. That could be a real money maker on this island. Tobacco, there's not as much room, and you can see a lot of it is so rough that you're not going to be able to build on it. But there are some spaces in here, and quite frankly, even a few tobacco farms and a cigar factory, you can make a lot of money. Sugar is kind of brilliant. It usually grows really well in the low areas where the main town generally seems to start. And sugar gets made into rum. So that is always a rock solid money maker. There's no problem making money there. So I'm going to put down a sugar plantation and well, corn will grow anywhere. The corn is good because it produces a lot of food. See, the freighter left with no export somewhat. Corn is great, but they will get bored of living on corn. It's corn, okay? You're going to want the bananas and the papayas and the other things as soon as you can. Now, another instant way to get food, or really quick way, is through fishing. The Fisherman's Wharf is here. That green band is where your good fishing is. This particular map has got a lot of lovely coastline. There's a nice little cove there, so that could be a nice tourist area. So you might not want to put a whole lot of fishing there, or put it there for a while. Once the fishing's gone, you could move it. But tourists like to fish too, and you can have some very lucrative fishing tours. So I don't know, if you're thinking about using that cove for tourism, maybe don't put fishing there. On the other hand, you have a nice little spot over here that you could use for tourism too. A lot of the islands are not going to have anywhere near this much coastline that's flat, and you can see the rest of this is very rocky and not really usable. If you have the space, move these out a little bit, because what will happen, the boats will only go so far from the dock into the water, and if you've got all of your wharfs together, as I have done on many occasions for various reasons, the fishing is going to disappear in this area really fast. Sometimes you've only got a little space. I need food now. I'll put a whole bunch. When it's gone, it's gone. But for now, I'm going to put it relatively close to town and let them get started on that. I'm going to run, I like to run roads to things even if they don't always need them. Even the farms and stuff here. I'm not sure if the farms actually need roads. I mean, they seem to wander out there and get to it anyway. But on the other hand, things are faster when you have roads. So, oops. Mona. There we go. Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this a whole lot longer. I think I'm about to lose my voice. I talk a lot at work, whether I like it or not, and I don't know, still been messed up here for the last 2 weeks almost with something that's just hanging on. And every couple of days I just can't talk at all. It's been fun. So we have mining starting, we have a wharf. Now I'm going to click on the mine over here, and you will see this progress report. We do have a guy working on it, so that he's going to be done in a minute. That's not too bad. Sometimes when things are farther away, they just won't get to it. You're going to have to click on this, see high construction priority, to tell them, you know, kind of poke them, get out there, get the job done, please. He's out there now, so that's fine. We're not going to worry about that one. Let's put down some housing. Or maybe we should just look at these different options. You know, the housing industry. You know, here's all these lovely factories. The question mark is because you need a blueprint. You can't just build this. You're going to have to buy the blueprint. Now, there are little, I don't know, quests. I don't know what to call them. Little bits and bobs that will pop up at various times in the game. And if you've done something right or done something nice for somebody, you often will get these blueprints given to you. If you have the patience to do that, you can save a lot of money. I never have the patience to do that, so I just always end up buying them. tourism is what it is. Attractions are always fun for the tourists, of course. Landmarks and beauty, Tropico with trees. You gotta have gardens and the fountains and the trees because that's the place I want to live in, so that's what I'm going to build. And it does help keep the environmentalists happy. So let's see, we've looked at some of these things. You know what, let's go ahead and put down a house. I've never actually used this before, so let's just do that. You know, we'll put it down here. They can go fishing, living on the beach. Oh, and one thing, you got to put down a market. You have to put down a market because you can have all the food in the world, and if they can't find a place to buy it, you're going to have a problem. So there's the market. See, our dock workers, house, market, job. Life is going to be good for them, and that's always going to be good for us. So click on the dock again. The next ship's about 7 months. I am down to, you know, less than $5,000. But the mine is working now, so that's a good thing. Not a lot of workers in it yet, but it'll happen. It's fine. Now, when you're a poor, struggling Caribbean country, island, you will get help from the United States, and you will get help from Russia at various times. So you can be broke, and it's not always the end of the world. Money will come. Don't worry too much about it. So while we're waiting for some things to happen here, I'm going to, the last thing oops, I'll wake up here. The last thing I'm going to do is look at these things along here.
What is it now?
You select your avatar, you get you. And if you take you and
Make it so.
You right-click on a building that is waiting to be built. He'll go get in his limo and drive out to the place and hang around. And by having El Presidente out there, the workers are going to try a little harder. So if you want them to pay attention to something, or if you've got a big project like a cathedral or something, shooing him out there is not a bad idea to get things happening better. The next button, the edicts, are always, you're going to be using these things. The general is what it says. Free housing is nice if you want to impress the Communist Party. The United States, you're going to think you're insane. Food for the people. I do that one a lot. It's easy to plant farms. Importing food is pretty cheap, and they like you for it. I mean, if you're eating well, you're feeling good, you're going to be healthier, you're going to be a lot happier, and they're more willing to give you a break when you're first starting out. Tax cuts can be really nice just a little bit before an election. It can sway votes your way if you're in danger of losing your island. Social Security, you know, if you reach a point where you've got the money to do that. For your retired people, that's nice. You know, nuclear testing, you get a bang of money right away, but nuclear testing, yeah. Education. Literacy program is great. It's going to help them grow, learn faster, get experience faster. You'll notice it says it requires a Minister of Education, as do all of these. When you click on the next one, for Foreign Affairs, you're going to need a Minister of Foreign Affairs. So most of these things you can't touch until you get a ministry building down and start hiring people to take care of these aspects of your government. You know, praising the USSR, in one of my recordings, I had the Russians were circling my island thinking about invading me, so I put down I hired a Minister of Foreign Affairs, and we decided to praise the USSR until they went away. Trade missions are great. You can make a lot of money with that. The economy and tourism is what it is. Pollution standards are always going to be, make the environmentalists happy. And again, now you need a Minister of Economy. All of these things, ad campaigns, tourism campaigns, the headliner, the games, Mardi Gras, etc. Great way to just bring a big bang of money coming into your island. Building permits a little different. All your construction is going to cost more, but the money is going to go into your own private Swiss bank account. The intellectuals won't like you so much because, you know, you're cheating the people. Really doesn't do a lot for the game except let you feel like El Presidente. So there's times when you want to do this, and there are achievements for it. There are various upgrades you can do to your palace where you're going to actually have to have money in your own Swiss account to be able to do that. So it has a place, and sometimes it's just because it's fun. The interior, prohibition. You know, if you want to have a, you know, a papal visit, or you want to have a religious community or something like that. But see, the you get more production because your people never get to drink. They might as well go to work, I guess. And the religious faction are going to love you, but it causes some of its own problems. Anti-litter, that's important for pollution and that kind of thing. Defense, martial law, silencing the rebels. You know, if you want to play a very military game, some of those can be fun. Modern times, if you have this particular one, lots of new things in here. Special diplomas is fun. You just give them out because you can do that. Healthcare reform can be really nice and please a lot of people on the island. Fertilize can be great. If you put in a chemical plant first, they're going to create some kind of horrible fertilizer, spray it all over your island, and then your soil permanently becomes more fertile. The overlays we've already looked at a little bit, but they're good to look at, you know, fast. Crime, liberty, population density, island conditions, you know, what's the pollution like? I like this. What's the predicted pollution like? Can you kind of see what's coming based on what you're doing. Volcano danger zone. Oops. Well, we know what kind of random event's going to hit this island. Humidity, that can tell you what kind of crops will grow where. Excuse me.
Sir,
Rebel threat.
the number of rebels on the island is growing higher. We should take adequate precautions.
So I haven't been paying attention to them, so they're not happy with me, but I'll survive. The last thing I'm going to look at before my voice quits is the our overview here. Just quick little things. Are they happy? Are they getting happier or getting sadder? Tourism rating, which we don't have at this particular moment. You know, there's some things to look at. Your Swiss bank account, if you've got anything going on there. Threat level, medium. That's, you know, the rebels are getting ready to do something. I've got 2 of them, 4 soldiers, probably not a problem right now. You know, if you see that the U.S. or the Russian threat is rising, you might want to pay attention to some of those. You can have your island taken away. People, how happy they are, do they respect me, what their ages are, if we're getting an elderly population, if they're very young, do I have enough people in the workforce. Food quality is going up because I planted a farm. The economy, average in Caribbean pay, you can get away with paying them a lot less than the average of the other islands nearby for a while, but not indefinitely. If you want a lot of immigration, you know, you raise that. People are going to want to come to your island so they can make more money. Unemployed, of course, is important. If you have a lot of unemployment, people are going to start leaving. Free job positions, do they have a place to work? Is there a reason they're not filling it? Do they need more education? Do the type of jobs, you know, that you have just don't have people, a population that can support it? Homeless people, those are the ones building those shacks, which can, you know, impact other things in the game. Trade, you know, you can look at what things are going to cost. Industry, for instance, you know, canned coffee, let's go to this one, for instance, an easy one. Jewelry, if I have a gold mine, with the gold mine, you mine that, you can put down a jewelry factory, make jewelry, and it pays really well. That's 84 there. Fine jewelry, so if I upgrade my factory, pays a lot more. And you can see the gold itself, selling it, of course, is much, much less. So actually creating industries that are refining products can be very, very lucrative. These are the factions on your island. The capitalists, communists, all these different people and the loyalties they have. If they are not happy, they will make you pay. So you need to pay attention to what it is they want. When you click on it, you know, you can find out, you know, who the faction leaders are. In some games, just shoot him. Find him and shoot him. It can set them back a little while. It won't make them happy, but it can stop some problems occasionally. I don't do that much. I never did that at all until I had a Steam achievement for it, and it worked really well. Go figure. You know, the kind of things they're looking for, they like the fact that you're an heir apparent. So do the communists. The intellect? Oh God, everybody. Really? Well, what do you know? They like rich kids. Go figure. Don't think I knew that. This is your foreign relations. The U.S. is not real happy with you at the moment. When you put in some factories and you start shipping, they're going to like you more. It's just that easy. And if you want to get into, you know, individual people, who's happy, who's unhappy, you know, what's making them happy, their job, you know, food quality, housing, crime safety, you know, you get to see what's going on with each individual person if you want to get that far into the game. So, I don't know if this helped or not. I hope it did just a little bit. I don't think I'm going to be able to talk here in a minute, so I'm stopping this now. Thank you very much for your support that I have received today. Thank you for the kind words you guys have shared to me. It's amazing the sense of community that I didn't know. I didn't know it was going to be this much fun. I didn't know I was going to feel close to people that I haven't met yet. I mean, I've had a guild in World of Warcraft, and those kind of, you did develop those sorts of things. I didn't think it was going to happen so fast in here, and it's been bloody awesome. Thank you very much. So if you liked any part of this, or you want to see more Walking Dead or Tropico or SimCity, which I hope to be playing tomorrow night after work if I'm not working late again, I will be, you know, like it, leave comments, let me know what you'd like to see. Please remember to subscribe, give the little kiss for luck guy there, blow him a kiss. Until I see you again, live your life happy and please choose to build it beautiful. Bye-bye.